Hey, everybody, welcome to Play Too Much at Subculture. I am in this beautiful subterranean venue known as Subculture in Manhattan. I'm your host, Brad Wagner, and we're lucky enough to be joined today from Belfast by Joshua Burnside. Joshua, thank you for being here, man. It's great to see you.
Hey, yeah, great to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us, and advanced congratulations to you because Into the Depths of Hell is coming out on September 4th. We're going to hear a lot of music from it today, and I know I've already thanked you 2 times. I'm about to do it a third. It's great to see you, man. It's even through the computer screen, it's outstanding. I can't wait to see you again in New York or in Belfast or in Texas or any of the places that we seem to be crossing paths these days. But thanks for doing this. And what's coming up first off of Into the Depths of Hell?
So I'm gonna play one of the singles. Is called "Whiskey Whiskey," and it's a song about drinking on flights, essentially, and my more about my fear of flying and how I try to overcome that, which doesn't always go that well. But I'm just gonna take my headphones off actually while I play this. Whiskey, whiskey, no ice in my whiskey, please. Plain lurches, my stomach flips, and I look to the cabin crew for signs of concern, but they don't give much away. I am an Ulsterman, a goddamn liberal, a man of reason, oh, the little things we tell ourselves to give us back a bit of meaning. I mean, God's been dead for a while, so if there's nowhere for our souls to go, then I don't want to be so sober. So whiskey, whiskey, no ice in my whiskey, please. No. Da, 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 da. Wouldn't take a genius to work it out. I've had my fair share of conversations with twisted metal and broken glass. Well, if lightning's gonna strike me twice, this time I'm gonna do it right. Whiskey, whiskey, no ice in my whiskey, please. Da-da. Whiskey, whiskey, no ice in my whiskey, please. I ain't gonna die sober. No. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Plain lurches, my stomach flips, and I look to the cabin crew for signs of concern, but they don't give much away. No, no.
All right. Thank you.
I very almost nailed that until like one dud note right at the end.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, you know as well as anybody how boring this stuff would be if it just went right every single time. If it just
Yeah, I think the errors make it. That's what I think anyway. So
Yeah.
that's what people come to me for, They want to see some mistakes live.
really the specialty of Joshua Burnside.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So I know. I mean, that song is not overtly a song about whiskey and drinking alcohol, despite the amount of times that you mention alcohol, but
Yeah.
I want to take it in that direction since I'm drinking a nice little bottle of soju right here. This is not a product placement. This just happens to be a bottle of soju that I have right here. So if the plane is going down, what is the immediate drink that you hope is close at hand? What do you go to?
Well, I mean, the kind of whiskey you get on flights, especially at Ryanair flights or EasyJet, whatever, isn't that expensive. It's normally like Bell's or Grant's sort of blended Scotch, which is, I mean, I'll drink it. I'll drink anything, to be honest. But like, if I had my choice, I'd probably pick like a nice Lagavulin or something like that. There, you know, maybe like an Irish. I got more into my Irish whiskies recently, like Connemara. I got a nice bottle of Connemara from my brother.
Nice. Yeah, I mean the name of the song, Whiskey Whiskey with the E's, you know, that's not a Scotch whiskey, that's an Irish whiskey.
That's true. You can't yeah. I mean we invented it, so the Scots just kind of took over, I think.
Smoked it over some peat.
They just smoked it. Anyone could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is. I mean, is that a biographical tune? I mean, are you imagining a scenario where a plane might have gone down, or did that happen to you?
No, I wrote the lyrics of that song on a flight because there was a bit of turbulence, and I decided, because my normal like method of coping with, I'm quite a nervous flyer, so my normal method of coping with it is to have a drink, and I decided I was getting flights early in the morning to London to go to gigs or meetings or stuff, and by the time I landed in London after all the travel, I was already half cut, which is not practical in any shape or form.
Yeah, not for business meeting day.
It's not a good way to live. So I decided I'm going to try and overcome this by processing it in a more productive and healthy way through my art.
Well, man, I didn't mean to laugh at that, actually. I mean, you said it funnily, but thank you, dude. I'm glad that you did that. You know, if you just processed it through drinking every time, we wouldn't have that song. I enjoy that song very much. It's on Into the Depths of Hell. It's available right now. That song is one of the singles that's been released. It's up on Spotify. Hopefully everybody who's checking out this stream is able to check out the album as well, which, if you're just joining us, September 4th is the release date, and we're hearing a bunch of music from it. What are you going to do second today?
I'm going to do a song called War and Everything. Unfortunately, there's a lovely bit of cello in this song, played by Zara Fleming on the record, and unfortunately it's just me in my little studio here in Belfast. So
there's nothing unfortunate about that.
But yeah, so I'm going to give it a go. It's a pretty rocking tune. It's going to come out in a couple of weeks. But this is the bare bones of it when I wrote it, just like this. Take these off again. She said, I feel lonely when I'm with you, lonely when I'm with you. So when you're with me, you're not with me, you're with everybody else. Killed a million things tonight, fly to the mad in a dusty light. Just to have you to myself again, I would have waged a war on everything. Do you remember when we first met? It was like something from a film. You were passed out on the balcony, undisturbed by the cacophony of Paris in the morning, into the mystic blaring out of a party long abandoned, save for a few true never-enders. Off to the cold coast, where old ghosts are often heard the most. She said, you think you're smarter than you are. Said, I'd trade all to know you more than at the margin of the ocean, waves crashing in the dark, screaming, Mr. Tambourine Man. Oh, I love what I knew of you then, and you loved what you knew of me then. No, I've become a stranger to myself. Oh, have I become a stranger to you? No, I've become a stranger to myself. She said, I feel lonely when I'm with you, lonely when I'm with anyone, like those old ghosts you sing about. Yeah, that's how I feel now, like a vampire's reflection in a mirror far away. If you could only see me again, could only see me new again. Yes, I'd wage a war on everything. Yes, I'd wage a war on everything. No, I've become a stranger to myself. Have I become a stranger to you? Oh, I've become a stranger to myself.
Right.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks, man. So you're talking about the arrangement a bit on that song where there's a cello in it. Can you talk about how your musicianship has been evolving and changing now that there's more time now than there was in anybody's life 5 months ago? You mentioned offline, you're talking about learning. I don't think this is a secret, right? That you're learning to play different instruments. I hope I'm not blowing anything for anybody,
No.
but can you talk about how your musicianship has evolved in the last couple of months since we've all been?
It's certainly given me a lot of time to kind of do things that I've always wanted to do. I've been playing different instruments, playing a bit of violin at the minute, which has been a lot of fun because it's so difficult. I think it's because it's like when you start as a musician who's been a musician for ages, when you start fresh on a completely new instrument, you're right back to square one, and there's something kind of exhilarating about that because you get to a certain point on an instrument. Well, I do anyway, like guitar, piano, or whatever it is, and unless you don't really get much better unless you really make an effort to. But with a new instrument, if you're just playing a bit every day, you'll see an improvement like quite dramatically, and that's really exciting for me. So I've been learning like jigs and reels and stuff on the fiddle, and that's fun. That kind of kept me sane during lockdown away. It was because it's sort of meditative. That music is sort of meditative, and that's just patterns that go around and around, and I think that kind of saw me through.
Yeah. Do you feel so learning that new instrument? I mean, there's melodies that make sense to play on certain instruments that don't necessarily make sense on other instruments. Have you found that some of the melodies that you're playing more on fiddle have influenced the way that you play the guitar, influenced the way that you write vocal lines or anything like that? I mean, since you're hearing a different instrument all the time, that influences and improves your guitar playing at the same time?
Yeah, it does. It sort of seeps in. Even in that tune there's a part where there's a little breakdown, and I would have strummed it differently than like a year ago than I do now because of learning like jigs in 6/8. I would have done it with an upstroke in the middle instead of a downstroke because in like a 6/8 feel you would do a down up thing like a. And then so that kind of started to bleed its way into the guitar playing for sure, and singing as well. Like when I'm coming up with melodies for stuff, I think always what you're listening to is going to find its way in there. It always does. I think even if you like want it to or not, if you're listening to loads and loads of reggae, you're going to start doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously I haven't been listening to enough reggae, but I should get on that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been listening to a bit of John Martin lately, just because I knew I was going to be speaking with you, and it felt totally prudent to be to listen to some John Martin and to some Nick Drake, and then finding out that the signing to Chris Black to Island Records, there was a reggae connection there as well,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
I don't know. That's the end of my point, man. I'm not. I've scratched the surface right now, but you inspired me
Sure.
to scratch the surface, and then I promise I will go deeper for next time we're actually chatting in person.
Yeah, yeah. No, big time.
Yeah.
John Martin's big hero of mine for sure.
We are not. I think we're just halfway through right now, but there's a lot more music happening. If you're just joining us, the internet. This is we're going to hear two more from Into the Depths of Hell, which is coming out September 4th. And what are you going to play third today?
This next song is called "Driving Alone in the City at Night," and the way it's arranged on the album is pretty. I had a lot of fun with it. It's pretty lo-fi and pretty out there the way I produced it, I think. So I'm excited to see what people think of it. But this is, again, this is going to be a very stripped back acoustic version, obviously. I will probably muck it up, but
We'll see.
We'll see. I haven't played it a lot, but yeah, I'll give it a go. Driving alone in the city at night, I thought I saw you caught in the high branches of a beech tree, bowling in the bluster. Above the big houses of solicitors. Built at the end of the 20th century, computers were big, everybody was wealthy, and the horror of it all flew into my vision like an oil for its dinner with lethal precision. And then into the dark you rode on the wind, shaking your head as if to rescind some crucial law of quantum mechanics. One cannot be here whilst over there, so you must remain, my kind brother. Yes, you must remain, my sweet brother, until eventually all of our smiling skeletons are gently uncovered by smiling Americans, and all is explained how we came to such unfortunate endings. By the cracks in our skulls and the dull arrows in our graves. A hedge around us, smoke rising from the edge of the pitch flood. I'm not upright in light of it all. That's it.
Right. Thank you. So this one, man, did you was this batch of songs that ended up or that will end up on Into the Depths of Hell, comes out September 4th. Were they all written in roughly the same period of time, or were there, because there's, so the first two are Whiskey Whiskey, and then the one you're about to play, I think, The Only Thing I Fear, are fairly they sound fairly similar on the recording to what you're playing right now. It's basically
Yeah.
you and the voice, but there are also
Yeah.
songs on the record, like Driving Alone in the City at Night, which I haven't heard the recorded version of that, but also the And You Evade Him, Born in the Blood, the one that most recently came out. There's a lot more. It's like music concrete. It's like Stockhausen almost. Like there's a lot of really like repetitive droning electronics that go along with it. Did you write those things at the same time, and do you feel like they're of a batch, or was different stuff happening to you when you were writing the ones that were arranged in more an acoustic way versus the ones that have more of those droning electronics included in them?
They were all kind of recorded around the same time, but they were all sort of written. A lot of them were written at different times. So, for example, The Only Thing I Fear is quite an old song, and Whiskey Whiskey's pretty new, and that written about the same time as And You Evade Him, Born in the Blood. But I mean, the thing that I'm really happy about is that they're all recorded in this tiny little room here, pretty much. Apart from two of the tracks from the album, where there was a bigger band sort of situation, so we needed more microphones and more space. But the majority of the album was recorded just where I'm sitting, with all my crappy gear, and so
Nice.
I'm pretty pleased with that. And I'm not like an amazing producer by any means, but so I've kind of accepted that. I'm just kind of leaning into my faults. So if I don't like something, I just like muck around with it. So much experimentation until it sounds right, as opposed to just knowing exactly what's going to work. I think that's always been the way for me that makes the most sense. Just trial and error, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, man. Well, I'm glad that you have the freedom to do that. And so for example, with And You Evade Him, Born in the Blood, like you didn't have that concept of what like those droning electronics and those samples in the beginning. You didn't write that with that in mind. Like that took shape in the studio.
Yeah, for sure.
It turned out beautifully.
Yeah, so that whole opening section I just kind of made in the studio. I was kind of writing while I was producing, but the actual song of it, was sort of on its own. It just sounds like a Nick Drake tune, really, because there was those sort of plaguily open chord, open tuning kind of drony stuff going on, and then I just kind of mushed them together. So that's why it's kind of like two tracks, I feel like, and that's why it's sort of And You Evade Him / Born in the Blood, because I feel like Born in the Blood's almost like a separate tune, but yeah.
Nice. Well, dude, I'm enjoying it. I've been listening to the three tracks that are publicly available right now, and September 4th is when the album is actually released to the public. And there is you're doing one more. This one is out right now, so hopefully everybody who's checking out this live stream right now, if you haven't already, watch the rest of this live stream, then go check it out. It's out on Spotify. It's out on all the places. But The Only Thing I Fear, I believe, is the next song that you're going to play.
Yeah. And yes, I made all the sort of singles that have come out. I've made the YouTube videos myself here in this studio. They're all pretty DIY, but I think for this, I'm really pleased with this video, how it turned out. So if music videos is your thing, head over to YouTube as opposed to Spotify and see what you think. Although some people, like I've got friends who hate if you're going to show them a song for the first time, and like you stick it on YouTube, they're like, no, I don't want to look at the video because it might ruin the song for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it certainly influences your experience of the song, but ruin, I don't know. That's a pretty strong word. I mean, it influences their experience of the song in the direction that you wanted them to be influenced. I mean, it's your video.
Yeah. But I understand that, because there's so many rubbish videos for great songs, and then if you're like trying to be unbiased, listening to a song for the first time, you don't want to, Anyway. No. Oh, when I was younger, my parents were out working. Their voices in the attic, see faces in TV static, tigers in the garden, ghosts under the stairs, and under my bed behind the curtain, always feel a presence lurking. Well, now that I am older, the only thing I fear is myself. Yeah, the voices in the attic were mine. Well, I don't know what I did last night, and I don't know what I said to make you run a mile from me. There's thunder in my head. Oh, when the day is dying, I take my potion and float above that endless ocean. But careful friend, this useful tonic will boil the blood inside your stomach. And the only thing I fear is myself. Yeah, the voices in the attic were mine. Yeah, the only thing I fear is myself. Yeah. Well, I just can't find peace in my soul. No, I just can't find it. Well, this persistent illusion that everything is moving forward as the weather vane spins, spins, spins. And the only thing I fear is myself. Yeah, the voices in the attic were mine. Yeah, the only thing I fear is myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Josh, thanks for doing this, man. It's good to see you even across the ocean and through the internet and all that. Man, I look forward to the time we actually can have a laugh in person.
That'll be the day.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but
Yeah.
you know, it'll happen again. Thank you, man. So before we let you go, can you, and again, maybe I should have asked you this offline. I hope this is not secrets. Can you talk about what you've just been doing in terms of new video stuff, or is that under wraps? New music video stuff.
Yeah. Just that I'm planning on making more.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I should.
I've shot 2 music videos recently. They're pretty out there. One of them involves children jumping out windows, which was an absolute pretty chaotic scene. If you were here at the studios, you would have looked out and saw lots of kids jumping out a window. No kids were harmed in the making of the video.
But there were like
one
like
sprained
20
ankle,
kids.
actually. There was like 20 kids. We only needed 5, but 20 showed up, and we'd look after 20 kids for a long time, which was good fun.
Is that for one of the Into the Depths of Hell songs?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
It's the second track on the album. It's called Under the Concrete,
Cool.
and yeah, we probably release that video after the album. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never been more excited to watch children jump out of windows than I am right now. So thanks for doing that. And Spotify, of course, where is the very best place for people to catch up with you? Because the JoshuaBurnside.com is cryptic right now. It's super, super cryptic. I couldn't figure out any information right there. I can tell there's something happening, but I can't tell exactly what it is. Where's the best place for people to keep up with what's happening with you?
Probably Spotify and Instagram and YouTube, those ones. Instagram and I'm probably most up to date on that guy. And then, but if you follow me on Spotify and YouTube, that's like where all the stuff goes. You know, all the new stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best way. My website is just. I do my own website, and I'm really bad at web design, so I decided just to make it like the simplest thing ever. It's just got my details on it. It's like the worst. It's like the
Yeah, well,
worst
but wait,
website
don't say that. Say it was a stylistic, like it was a creative choice
Yeah.
to make. Because when you click on stuff on the website, the like the browser spins, like it's thinking about doing something, and there's a bunch of what looks like hieroglyphics kind of on it. It's very, very cryptic.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
Don't.
two birds with one stone because I wanted something really simple, but I also wanted to be mysterious. So it kind of,
Oh yeah, it does that. It does that. Well, man, I am very much looking forward to the album. Thank you again so much for playing this music today, and we will continue crossing paths. I have no doubt of that. Where it
Yeah.
is, no idea. But dude, thank you very much, and congratulations, congratulations on the release. Into the Depths of Hell comes out September 4th, and thank you for the music today, man.
No problem. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
All right, see ya.
All right.